this is going to be a full review of the QOR360 Ariel chair. I've been using this chair for over a year now, and I did buy it with my own money, and this is not a sponsored video, so these opinions are all my own. Now I'm gonna have several sections that I go through in this video, so you can pick from any of the timestamps to jump to a section that you would be interested in. So looking at the pieces that make up this chair, first you have the feet, which are plastic, which hopefully won't scratch up any floors. They also offer a wheels option, which I don't recommend because of stability. Both options snap into this base, which is cast aluminum, which is a huge upgrade from most office chairs, which are usually a plastic base. Then you have the cylinder, which sits into that. And then on top of that, you have this nice metal base with a handle that's got a nice little grip on it, and a piece of 3/4 inch plywood is bolted onto that metal base. And then in the middle here, you have the red rocker, which allows the chair to do its movement of side to side, front to back. And then on top of that, sandwiching that red rocker is another piece of 3/4 inch plywood. And then around the sides, you have these nice chunks of rubber that limit the range of motion so you don't tip over. And then on the very top piece of plywood, you have the seat, which has a sports leather on it, which is supposed to require no maintenance. And that's always nice, not having to maintain things. So let's talk about why I picked the QOR360 chair over other active chairs. I started researching active chairs because at the time I had a normal ergonomic office chair, which offers a lot of support, but that also causes your core to be weak. So I felt like I was constantly falling over my chair, and I had a really hard time sitting up straight with good posture. Now, when looking at a lot of active chairs, a lot of them pivot at the bottom, whether they have a rounded base or just have a pivot point at the bottom, which means that when you are leaning over and moving, that at the same degree angle, your body is significantly far off from the center of chair, meaning that if that chair were to slip out from underneath you on the bottom, because of that, you're gonna fall down. That's one of the things that makes the QOR chair very different, is the whole base is stable and just the top here moves. So you're only moving at the top, which means your center of gravity is still very much over the center of the chair versus being very far out. So the fact that this pivots at the top versus the bottom is the biggest differentiator of this chair over other active chairs, and that's enabled by the red rocker underneath the seat here between the two pieces of plywood, which allows it to go side to side, front to back, and it's still a very stable chair. I mean, you can lean all the way back. I don't feel like I'm gonna fall over. It's kind of hard to lean forward without my feet down because I feel like I'm gonna fall over. You can go sideways. Once you get used to this enough and build up your core, you can kind of spin in a circle while keeping your balance. That red rocker underneath the seat makes this chair not stable, which is a good thing because it allows you to move front to back and not support you, which is the whole point of this chair, is to engage your core more and for you to find a good position so you have a good posture. Your hips and your knees should not be at 90-degree angles. They should be slightly wider, so this shouldn't be 90 here. It should be a little bit more like 120 and then 120 at your knee. And if you have your feet stable, you can kind of just find your position where you can sit up straight in this. And over time, you'll really find where that is, and you'll notice if you need to shift side to side on the seat itself. So what's it like first using this chair? Well, at first, it does take some time getting used to. So you can see here on the seat, there's these ridges. This chair is definitely a lot harder than what you would be used to with a regular office chair that has a lot of cushioning. And it definitely feels hard at first, and that takes time to get used to. Also, the fact that it moves and you have to stabilize yourself takes time to get used to. My recommendation is just sitting on it for half an hour at a time, and you'll kind of be ready to get off it at that point. Take that time to get up, walk around, and take a break from it. In the first week you're using this, you probably want to have a regular chair with you so you can switch between the two as you build up your tolerance to using this chair. I've been using this chair for over a year now. It's in my home office, which I've been working from home for over a year with COVID going on, and honestly, it doesn't bother me. So one of the things you'll notice with this chair is it's a lot easier to get out of. It's easier to stand up compared to a regular office chair, And it's easy to sit down in too. And that standing up has a lot to do with the fact that your back is in alignment and straight, and your feet need to be planted on the floor to have good stability. So you don't have to move your feet, it's just a standing up motion. Another thing that takes getting used to is sitting down on the chair because it's smaller and it's not stable. The easiest thing to do is stand in front of the chair, grab underneath the front of it, there's a grip, and then sit down on it, and then you can adjust it, which if you need to shift side to side, there's also grips on the side that you can grab. So let's talk about build quality. The feet are made out of plastic, which I think is a great option because it's less likely to scratch up hard floors versus if it was made out of a harder material. The base is made out of cast aluminum, which is way better than the plastic that you find on most office chairs. The cylinder seems like a standard cylinder. There's nice thick steel plates around the plywood. The plywood pieces are 3/4 inch, which is nice and thick. It looks like the rubber is a nice quality. It's nice and thick. The rocker is made out of plastic and it's injected molded. The seat is wrapped in sports leather, which doesn't require maintenance, which I love not having to maintain stuff. And overall, the chair has been holding up very well over the last year. I don't have any complaints with it. There also are the grips that I mentioned before on the sides and on the front, which make it easy to sit on the chair and also make it easy to slide it around your office, especially if you have a hard floor. I don't imagine it being that difficult on carpet either because the chair doesn't weigh that much. So let's talk about price and quality. I did use my own money to purchase this chair, and it is fairly expensive. Now, the build quality of this chair is great. I mean, they're using high quality materials that should hold up over time, and they're not trying to sell you a foam active chair like other companies are. And while $400 to $500 may seem like a lot, over the long term, that's insignificant. If the chair is gonna hold up because it's quality, and it's gonna save your back so you don't have to go to a chiropractor and you don't have to have surgery, you're gonna easily save that money over the long haul. So do I think you should buy a chair from QOR360? Heck yeah. If you end up finding this review at all useful and you have any questions or you'd like to support me, please go over to my Patreon where I'm trying to start a community, and I would really appreciate any support you'd be able to give me.